All right, so this is now day 2 here, and as you can see, I'm done replacing all the rubber vacuum hoses there in the rat's nest with the silicone one. So, this wasn't too much of a pain in the butt. It was very tedious. Some of them were very hard to get to, but overall it wasn't bad, and, I think it's just a upgrade that really does need to get done with these cars. Because that rubber is subjected to a lot of heat under there right next to the engine housing, and they get brittle, they break, lead to vacuum issues, and so on and so forth. So anyway, it wasn't terrible. It did take me about a day, I don't know, probably a day like in total, although really, I started a little bit last night and spent maybe half a day today. But anyway, it wasn't terrible. I wouldn't want to do it for a living, but you know what? You do it one time and, whatever, take the hit for the team and get it done. I'll pretty much agree with just about what everybody else said out there in terms of this. RX7.org did a really great write-up on this. I'll post a link in the description. He does a lot of really good write-ups on a lot of things, but he did an excellent one with this, so I'll put that on there. But yeah, I would agree, just do one at a time, take it one at a time, don't rip them all off. Be very meticulous about taking it off, taking, the one off, putting it on, taking the other end off, putting it on, do one at a time so that maybe you're not getting it mixed up. There are a couple, if you notice, that you will have to leave off until you complete the job, right? So there's 3 that hook up to the upper intake manifold itself. That those are gonna well, actually there's a couple that hook up to the intake manifold itself, so you're gonna have to leave those off until you put that back on. So just make sure you tag them appropriately, as you can see, as I did there. You don't want to run into issues with that. So but I will say here again, and I'll agree with just what everybody else said as well. I mean, this is a tedious job, but honestly, I think once you put some color in there, it doesn't look as much as a bunch of gobbledygook when it's just, all black hoses running everywhere. And it does give you the opportunity to really get sort of intimate with your RX7 in the way that these lines go, and kind of forces you to take a look at things and just get very familiar with the car and how things are laid out, just in case you have to go back in here in the future. So anyway, so it's done. It wasn't too bad. It just took some time, and you just have to be very meticulous about it. So although I will say, I was a complete freaking doofus, and I didn't cover up my intake ports there, and yep, a nut straight up fell down in there. So I'm waiting on a thin magnetic retriever, so hopefully I can get it out of there. If not, I'm gonna sink a fiber optic down there and see if I can find it. If not, I might have to tear that joker off. I really don't want to, but if I have to, I have to. So I'm just waiting on that before I put us all back together. But like I said, hopefully I don't have to tear down the lower intake manifold. If I do, then I'll probably just go ahead and replace the fuel injectors at that time. And here again, it's something I wanted to do anyway. So like Bob Ross said, there's no mistakes, just happy little accidents, right? And anytime you work on a car, it's not a problem, it's a project. So being a little bit stoic and staying positive minded here. So hopefully I can get it out. If not, then I'll post some videos on how I did the injector replacement and whatnot. So yeah, and then I'm also waiting on some new gaskets from Atkins Rotary to come in. I mean, the ones that came off were metal. I probably could still reuse them, but I mean, I don't want to put it all back together just to find out I have vacuum issues. So I'm just going to go ahead and get new gaskets, and so they should be here shortly as well. So, and then we'll start putting it all back together, and we'll crank it, and we'll see if how the new coils worked, and we'll see how replacing all these vacuum lines went and things like that. So, all right, well, thanks for watching. I said I'll post those links below, and we'll go from there. So, all right, y'all, have a good weekend. And, I did want to say, just give a shout out, special thanks to Atkins Rotary at atkinsrotary.com. If you haven't been on their website before, they're really great. I mean, they have a lot of consumables for our cars. So gaskets, O-rings, sensors, things like that. Things that can you didn't really necessarily plan to replace, but in doing another project, maybe you snapped or broke or something like that. And really fast shipping, 2 or 3 days maybe every time I order from them. So they've been a really huge help in this project. So I'll post their link down at the bottom as well. So atkinsrotary.com. They've been really helpful. All right, have a good weekend, everybody.